All right, what's up, everyone? This is Jason Tucker with WPwatercooler, episode number 130. Today we're going to be talking about building a photography site using something called WordPress. Let's go around the room here real quick and get everyone introduced. We're going to start in alphabetical order with Chris Lema.
Hi there, I'm Chris, and I am the CTO over at a company called Crowd Favorite, and I also run the North County San Diego WordPress Meetup.
Nice. Dave.
I'm Dave. I'm CTO at SpectrOMtech, and we build custom plugins and e-commerce stuff.
Very nice. What about you, George?
Hi, I am George Stefanis. I do minion wrangling, run the Jetpack Pit Crew, local meetup stuff. I have minions.
Nice.
Awesome. Patrick, haven't seen you for, what, 300 episodes? What's up, dude?
It's been, I think I was on like episode 50 last time. It's been a while.
It's been so long.
Where have you been?
Taste.
Well,
Angel cry.
Hey guys, come on! Let Patrick tell us how he's running WooThemes. Come on.
not quite.
You don't have a South African accent yet, so
not yet.
Yes, it is on my to-do list. But I'm the product manager for WooCommerce, so I plan all the stuff that's coming down the pipeline.
And boy, do we have stuff to talk about. Yeah.
Nice.
We need to have a little talk chat.
What about you, Robert?
My name is Robert Dall. I'm a track ticket lobbyist, and no, I'm a web developer over at robertdall.com, and I live in Canada. I know. That's all I got.
Wow. You're in Atlantis.
What about you, Say? What about you?
What about me, Jason? Really, though, really, tell me.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, hey guys, my name's Say Reed, and I do web stuff, teach WordPress, make WordPress, live, love, feel WordPress at Say Reed Media on all the things.
Awesome. Yeah. What about you, Steve?
I am Steve Zehngut. I'm the founder of Zeek Interactive, and I run the OC WordPress Meetup. And tonight is the Design Meetup.
Nice. Looking forward to it. What about you, Suzette?
Hello, everybody. I'm Suzette. I'm a teacher with Girl Develop It, and I love WordPress.
Awesome. What about you, William?
I'm William Bay. I'm the chief entrepreneur at Flaunt Your Site. We build websites for photographers mainly.
Oh, how topical.
I'm Jason Tucker. You can find me on Twitter, Jason Tucker. I blog about stuff over at WPmedia.pro. So, who is a photographer in this?
Does it look like William Does it look like William is 7 feet tall?
Hello, William.
It does, kind of.
Yeah, it looks like William is frozen. Oh no, he's
standing desk.
Oh Lord! There we go. Oh my Lord!
Let it go, Chris. Let it go.
We are the knights that say.
What's another Monty Python reference?
Yes.
So how many of you folks are actual photographers, not somebody that's using an iPhone?
Like professional
Instagram?
That would be right
professionally.
Yeah, what's wrong with iPhone photographers, though? They're awesome, too.
iPhoneography?
Well,
myself a photographer.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just you can't, it's a little harder to
get the raw version of an image out of it.
You're so VSOCam. Oh my God.
But I have to say that the photographers are they are demanding clientele because they want to see their images really large, really big, and without any degradation of the image whatsoever.
Except for putting their name automatically over the entire thing to keep anyone from stealing it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I also all of those people that have that kind of steal content from Reddit and then just post it to blogs and stuff like that. I mean,
Wait, what?
They do really have a large problem with that.
Say's
a lot
got
of
to stop
photographers.
that. We got to talk to Say about that.
People steal things on the internet?
Yes.
Gosh, to me, that's really scary.
Quit acting so surprised.
Stealing.
All right, so we have a few things here. So one piece to this is that we'll definitely need to talk about the idea of making sure you can't right-click on images. That's something that doesn't happen anymore. I hate those types of plugins.
There's a plugin for that. There is.
I know. I saw that on a website the other day, and I'm like, really?
Okay.
When my clients ask me that, and then I'm like, so watch this, and then I like screenshot it, and I'm like, didn't right click, and then like, oh, I'm like, yeah, get over it. It's happening.
We're also going to need to discuss a little bit about people uploading raw images and stuff too. So what were you going to say, Chris?
Wait, is this a family show? What kind of photography site are you talking about, Jason?
Clearly, World Wrestling Entertainment, raw.
Right. You get 1 day off of work, and it like just.
So let's talk a little about building a site where you actually earn some money, which means selling those photos.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we have Patrick on is because recently WooCommerce rolled out a photography solution, an extension that lets you do some of this. Is that right, Patrick?
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it's up on our blog, and it does a lot of the painful things that you have to do with images. Like, if you take a bunch of images at a wedding or something, you want them all grouped on one like product page, and it does all that for you.
Is it locked? Like for... Okay, so here's my question. So I literally just set up a site for a client who's a photographer, and I do this periodically, but this one literally was like last week. So, he's a photographer. He's just been basically sending people like, Dropbox links. Nothing's automated. There's no download or anything like that. So we're trying to look at like a comprehensive low-cost solution, and considering SmugMug as like maybe like the e-commerce aspect of it and separate from his site, does your product that you're talking about replicate those features, but all
wait 1 second. Wait, low cost? His product is $79.
Oh, dude, that's too much.
I don't know, man.
I was trying to make money here. I don't want to spend any.
Is there a non-scripted version somewhere?
And you have to get WooCommerce, right?
Which is how much?
Oh my God.
That's
free. It's free.
Hey,
Free to
no one
use.
ever said e-commerce was free. No one ever said e-commerce was free.
Well, okay, we're not necessarily low cost. And first of all, I didn't know about this new WooThemes product, so I'm so glad you're here.
Patrick, instead of having Say talk more about her client, Patrick, tell us.
What does it do?
I'm just going to toggle that switch
How
off.
do we toggle her off?
Toggle me off.
Patrick, tell us about the plugin.
Yeah, well, so if you've actually used SmugMug, it's actually like that, where you see like a list of photos, and then you say, I want that one, that one, that one, that one, and then you press checkout, and it does all that for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sold. Bye. Gotta go.
It rolled out in January, right?
It may have been early February, but it rolled out early this year, and it rolled out with just physical photos at first, and digital photos are going to be coming out in the very near future.
Okay.
Or I should say digital downloads.
How do you do the physical ones?
They're just
Explain that to me. Explain the physical process to me. I'm interested.
Just so like with digital products, we don't have like we don't have a way for you to say right now to say physical product or a digital one or the black and white version, and we're gonna have a toggle that'll let you choose the different type of photo you want.
So Patrick, one of the things I really noticed about photographers is that they all kind of keep their information in this IPTC data, which is kind of metadata associated with a photo. And in WordPress 4.2, I coordinated getting a patch, a very small patch in the core that allows that proper propagation of the data. How is that related to your plugin with that IPTC data?
That's an awesome question. Totally wasn't expecting that one. So it uses the it uses the regular WordPress uploader. So
you
can upload photos as you would any other WordPress media, and it'll use that file for a download. So it should work as expected.
Perfect. Because
I can't wait to try that. It sounds awesome.
That ticket was around for about 6 years. So I was finally, it was just like, yeah, it's done.
And Patrick, how well has it sold, the extension?
Good question. I haven't looked at the sales stats.
So it's basically you show up on the show completely unprepared.
He's like, wow, great question. No answers. So I'd like
I think we all show up unprepared, don't we?
Google, And let's just Google the WooThemes plugin. It's not like we have the expert on here who's the product manager or anything. You know, whatevs.
I get it. He's like these guys mostly they joke around the whole half hour. I don't need to actually have real data. I get it.
But
we'll follow up later, Patrick.
Okay.
Kind of also wanted to. One thing I've also talked with George about when I showed him this Art Wolf project I've been working on is that one of the things we did was put every photo onto a new page so that the SEO could be great on that page. And one of the things in Jetpack that I've seen with their gallery is that you don't necessarily in all of these gallery plugins, they're all kind of mushed onto one page. And you don't necessarily get the SEO from like a grizzly bear or a.
What?
Well, let's say if you have a.
Explain that analogy to me. Is that a sexual reference?
No,
American. What's that in American? That's what I want to know.
Not familiar with that one. What kind of pictures are you talking about?
If you're searching for like grizzly bear eating salmon in Alaska. Stop making me.
I don't think that's making it better. Actually.
Yeah, you know what, Robert, just
stop talking.
Pause because you're going to take Say down a road that she's been down too often.
And you don't want to go down that one.
So
okay.
I've got a question here. I've got a question for you, Robert.
Yeah, William, go for it, dude.
Yeah. So Robert, about SEO on your pages.
Yeah.
What is it that you're doing on those pages? Because since pandas come out, there's quality content controls that you have to be aware of. Yeah. One photo and a couple of EXIF information is going to reduce the quality of your site.
Right, but it's going to be more than no content on that, just a photo.
So you have like a story or something like that. That's what I do with my fine art stuff. Is I actually have a story in my WooCommerce pages for the photographs themselves.
Yeah.
Is that what you're kind of referring to?
Well, I'm kind of referring to how do we get good SEO for pictures that only have like a really small caption associated to it, and so
I think you tell people to write more.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Is you got to write more, or what wedding photographers and portrait photographers, which is my primary clientele, they'll do a full blog post and they'll have 20 to some of them even have like 100. I don't get it, but some of them have like quite a few photos, and they either caption it or they alt tag it, right? And they actually have a story above it, about the wedding or about the portrait session.
But that's for
and so it's a collective.
That's for the profile or the portfolio side. That's not necessarily talking about, for example, like the private.
No, it's a blog post.
Okay, well, whatever. But so the idea is kind of that SmugMug functionality is that there are private galleries. So say there's a wedding or whatever, and you want to upload the photos so that someone can download them or show them to their mom.
Are we talking private or are we talking SEO?
Let's talk about private SEO. No, that's what I'm asking. So these are obviously different questions. I won't change the topic. Continue.
Right. So William, let's talk a little about what your process is, because obviously you're doing this a lot. You have to worry about SEO. You have to worry about people who want to potentially make purchases. That's what Flaunt is all about, right? So
right. Yeah.
Tell us what are the tools you're using to put this together with WordPress?
So all proofing is done through third-party sites. I haven't found, and I've looked a little bit at the WooCommerce thing, the uploader for WooCommerce. I don't think it's prime time for my clients. I could talk with Patrick a little bit and let him know what photographers would really want, right?
Beta testing.
Yeah. And
beta test that shit.
Third-party services like SmugMug, PixieSet, Zenfolio. There's a couple other that are not on the top of my head right now, but like those are, if you're going to do proofing, you want to do it through those, because you got such an incredible amount of photographs and just gigabytes that you're going to be uploading at that point, right? And if you're on Bluehost or which a lot of photographers are, or other crappy shared hosting. Yeah, GoDaddy, right?
Hey,
You're going to end up bogging down your whole site.
Shared hosting.
Just say no, Daddy.
Shared hosting.
Look, not all shared hosting.
We're
is
not going to
free.
name names.
Now, that being said,
yes, I will.
just as a friendly reminder, if you are hosting a lot of images on your site, use Jetpack and use Photon.
Nice plug.
Wait, okay, so no.
George is like, I'm done now. I did
That's
my
why
George,
Hashtag
So
plug.
that's
check for today.
That's where we go for the proofing side of things. For the site itself, the custom sites that I build are underscores or bones, startup there. I do full custom sites, and what I look at as far as the photography is the photographs aren't really what we're selling as a photographer. It's kind of comes as a shock to a lot of people, including photographers. They're selling themselves. They're selling the.
I don't think there's a plugin for that one.
Yeah, say would come up with that if there was. Yeah. So so they're selling the experience. They're selling their personality. So really, it's all about bringing themselves to the forefront, showing off the personality on the site, and then this is again because photographers. Again, I deal with professional photographers dealing in the portrait and wedding space. They don't think of their site as a marketing and acquisition tool. They think of it as a portfolio.
Right.
And that's really where they go wrong. They got to think of it as how do you actually acquire your clientele? Yeah. So a lot of how I build is very different than other custom site builders in the photo space. Is I do landing pages. I'm very clear on service pages that are that actually convert that traffic that you're getting.
Yeah. Well, because you are really focused on SEO. Like you do SEO and photography. That's like your shtick, right? You do.
That's my thing.
You do SEO classes.
How does a gallery impact? Like, how do you make a gallery SEO friendly? Like.
I don't.
Yeah. Like
I don't care about galleries. Yeah. Like I'm not selling the photographs. I'm selling the person.
Right. But what if you were actually trying to sell the photographs?
That's you go to Zenfolio. So yeah, if you're like a fine art photographer, or if you're something in the space of that world, that's completely different. I handle sites like that occasionally, but that sounds kind of like what's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
With David Wolf.
Wait, so I have a question, SEO related. In general, when you're uploading and using the media uploader via, just for your SEO, what do you do?
Here we go.
Say doesn't recommend.
Yeah. You're ready.
No. All right. Hashtag
Did she say the media uploader?
I did. I should never say that. What the fuck? Oh, whoops, sorry.
You're not allowed to touch the media tab ever.
Wait, I have a real question. What do you do about your attachment page?
I don't link to the attachment page.
But I mean, it exists.
But it's still
whether or not you link to it. SEO-wise, though, if you're uploading all these images, you have all of these attachment pages, and then do you bother with them? Do you add descriptions?
You don't need to have say you don't need to have the attachment pages because you can set the thing that says, hey, when you click on this page, don't move to the attachment page, right?
Toggle that. But the point is that the attachment page is or not.
All right, so here's how I handle the attachment pages. I don't link to them and I don't index them.
Yeah.
Yep.
You follow your attachment. How do you non-index your attachment pages?
Yoast, which I heard was just bought out by
that was an April Fool's joke.
Didn't realize that was an April Fool's joke.
April Fool's. Next year we're gonna buy WooThemes. So. And I'll be honest. We tried to buy Jetpack, but there's no way.
Did you?
Now
Can I bring up another?
Can we? Wait. On the April Fool's note for a second, I would just like to acknowledge that the main joke at WordPress was that Jetpack was going to include WordPress, and I was like, we've so been there, done that.
Yeah. That was hilarious. I
It
just
was funny.
Brian would have pinged me in advance so I could have done some joint press release with them.
Right? Like, we could have done one. It's like water cooler calls the future, or whatever. We know everything.
Visionary. Oh my god.
Visionary.
So going back to
Visionary.
back to what Robert's question was, SEO for the individual photographs, right? Yeah. And this is, if you take a look at my site, williambay.com, I have something kind of set up and that would work for you. Is if you go into the fine art projects and click through to one of the projects and actually click on one of the images, you can see I do stories about the image. So that's how I increase SEO is like it has to have forward-facing text. You can't just stuff a bunch of alt text in your photos.
You can totally stuff a bunch of alt text in your photos. I mean, wait, what? Oh no, never mind.
I didn't want to completely change the subject here, but I wanted to talk about.
Please change it.
Why not? Say does it all the time.
I beg you.
One of the things that I was talking about with Morten and Ben Lowenbach at recent WordCamp Seattle was the responsive images in WordPress, and that's going to be a really tough nut to crack.
Not so much, actually.
As he's saying it, he realizes
here's the thing. There's already a RICG, Responsive Images Community Group plugin for Core. There is a feature group on WordPress.org Slack in the feature-RESPIMG group. What the current focus is using the source set attribute to just specify all the available image widths that WordPress already has generated, and then letting the browser just choose the one that it looks best. Because that's what source set is meant to do. It's not meant to tell the browser which to use. It's meant to be an offering, and it can choose whichever one that feels appropriate.
This is a lot of browser.
I thought he was going to say use Jetpack.
We're also agreeing but sorry, I was wearing my core hat, not my Jetpack hat.
But the
that's a fun thought.
I think Morten is part of that group actually.
Probably. We've currently got.
We don't have enough time for me to actually explain all the stuff I heard in that conversation at WordCamp Seattle.
8 minutes.
And go.
Well, so what's the question? What's the question about responsiveness?
Well, it's just that you might say the code in WordPress to actually get the responsiveness plugins to actually work properly is not necessarily there yet. And that's, like, in a nutshell, what I actually heard.
Are you talking about...
Well, it's not so much whether or not the code is there. It's a question of dealing with what images you have, because WordPress doesn't generate new image dimensions on the fly, and that's a rather expensive task.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, so you're dealing with, in the case like you have the large image, you're dealing with the large image all the way down as you scale. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and responsive images basically presents offerings to the browser, and the browser can say, oh, yes, the default may be 2,000 pixels wide. I only need something 200 pixels wide, so I'll just use the smaller one that's in the source set app.
George, doesn't
wait,
Photon
is
do that?
it doing that? It's doing that?
Yes, Photon does that already.
Jetpack plug.
So
Yay
let's...
for Photon.
Can I get Photon out of Jetpack?
We only have like 7...
Open source.
No, it's based.
I have this weird cough.
The code for the Photon server is open source, and you can download it and run your own Photon server if you really want to. But for .com to do it and provide it for free, you need to be connected under Jetpack because you need to be covered under the terms of the service. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the rights to host your images for you.
That's right.
Gotcha.
George,
that's why it's spending on the connection.
Wait, so I have a question.
George, wait, I got a question for George.
Chris, take it away.
George, when will Jetpack do all of the photo gallery, buy my photo, download my photo? When will it do proofing? When will Jetpack do all the things regarding photography websites?
Yeah, when is it going to buy?
I have a very simple and clear response for you. No soup for you.
Okay, wait. That was a great question, Chris. Thank you. I have a question.
No, we'll just roll WooCommerce into Jetpack.
We never covered the purchasing. So what I was talking about when we first started about my client that we were looking at having having a smug mug for the sales and proofing side for the clients who are done with their stuff to look at their portfolio and their proofs and whatnot. Is that something, that functionality, and not worrying about whether or not you have too many images on the server, whatever, say that's moot. But Patrick, is that something that is happening in that theme or in that plugin? Is that meant to replace SmugMug or Zenfolio?
The plugin is supposed to replace SmugMug, so you shouldn't have to, if you want to run your own SmugMug, if you want to sell your own images, that's the way to do it. And there's a million other things you can do to handle all the other problems. So if you want to watermark your images, there's a watermark extension. If you want to use Amazon S3 to deliver all of your assets,
$80, $80.
Hey, very inexpensive.
No one ever said WooCommerce was free.
It's still affordable.
If you were in the photography space years ago, I'm talking about 3-4 years ago, and you
ancient time, long time.
I've been photographing for 24 years, Chris.
Right. No, but hear what I'm talking about in terms of premium themes. If you go back 3 or 4 years, and premium themes showed up maybe 5.5, almost 6 years ago, but if you go back 4 years, one of the only premium themes that was selling for $200 and some was a photography-based theme for photography professionals. So they are not the people who are running around going, "Oh my God, I need a $29 theme."
No, because they charge $5,000 for a day.
At the same time, Chris, to like cap or to dovetail into that. So yeah, they'll spend that $200, but then if you start looking at proofing, they want something that's kind of inclusive, like all kind of inclusive with, so they don't have to manage all these extensions and like, oh, I need this, I need that. It just kind of nickel and diming. They're not the kind of customers that are going to play along with that.
Well, they don't want to do research either. They don't want to figure out what they want.
The theme instead, and then
they just want a solution that works out of the box. Is really what I've found.
I'm just saying they don't need something for $30. They are making.
Oh, I understood. Yeah.
They're making money, and if WooCommerce, here's the question, Patrick. Right? Mm-hmm. When will WooThemes take the bundle of photography, watermark, and everything else, put it in one bundle for a single price? Is that happening next week? Come on.
It is now.
Not next week.
Now that it's been beta tested, we're here.
Let's get back to Chris's last question.
Free focus groups for you.
WooCommerce photography doing?
So it's actually doing pretty good. Now that I had to look up.
That was off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But it's doing really well. So people are buying it and using it, and we're getting good feedback.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And so the
Great
bundle
data.
is actually.
Thanks for sharing that.
In all seriousness, though, bundles is like the biggest problem with like the extension model. Like people feel like they're nickel and dimed, and was one of the top 3 complaints that I.
But wait, not when it's bundled. When it's not bundled, don't they feel nickel and dimed?
When it's not bundled.
When it's not bundled. So what you're doing is admittedly saying that you're nickel and diming these people right now, and that you're going to fix that really soon.
He's saying he's about to roll out a bundle, and you heard it. You heard it on our show first.
Exclusive. So get to work. And
when Patrick gets invited to the Dradcast, let's just be clear. He's saying, "Well, I got this great idea from WPwatercooler, and now we're implementing it."
Well, so
that would be ironic.
A little too ironic. It's like rain on your wedding day. So basically, William, are you going to you've tested? I think maybe there's a little match here. Maybe you need to hook up with Patrick to do some user testing, so that because you obviously know what photographers are looking for, both on the fine art end and the photography end. And
what we do here is we match people.
Matchmakers.
It's
called us WP Tinder. It's good.
That's why there are crowd
guys.
They have that. It was really bad.
Awful.
This is why we let Jay stay on the show, for comments like that.
I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you.
I got the vapors.
Oh my goodness. Right. So wait, do we have a conclusion?
Yeah, do we have a conclusion?
Oh. Do we ever have a conclusion?
Complicated.
Do we ever have a conclusion?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a new feature of the show, right?
Yeah, no. I'd like to introduce this conclusion.
You know what? I have
expectations really low on this show.
I have a conclusion.
Yep.
As Say always says, it depends.
Well, Say says I use depends. That's very different.
Oh, zing!
All right,
I'm not
and
that old,
this
Chris.
show has been brought to you by WooThemes, and they're going to send Jason.
Jetpack.
And, well, no, wait. WooThemes is going to send us a check, but we unfortunately have to send it right back to Patrick because he's now a superstar and he's been on the show. He used to be on the show and he was just a regular guy. Now he's huge. So
He's
He's
famous.
in charge of the things.
congratulations, by the way, Patrick, on the new book you just rolled out. I saw it on Amazon, on WooCommerce. That is awesome. That is a huge undertaking and really great thing. So if you're watching the show or listening to the show, head over to Amazon and look up Patrick and the WooCommerce book.
Nice.
Awesome.
Dang.
Awesome.
Thanks,
There's the
guys.
conclusion.
Watermark all your pictures.
That's about it for today. Make sure you go to our
Right-click on
website,
the future.
WPwatercooler.com.
Jason, toggle
and
this
check-
thing off.
Toggle it off, man.
Toggle it off.
Go over to our website, WPwatercooler.com, and check us out there. You can hit the subscribe button, hit the like
Not
button,
toggle.
and if you
Toggle
don't
the
want to watch
subscribe
us
button.
and you just want to listen, you can subscribe to us on iTunes.
can-
Thank
you
you
can
very much,
toggle
guys.
us
Have a
on
good rest of your day.
Stitch.
Goodbye.
Hey, say, toggle your face.